Do you sometimes feel like you're doing the best when it comes to your finances, but for some reason you don't have enough money to show for it? Here's my theory. You may be concentrating on bigger things like investment, like saving for retirement, among other things, and totally neglecting the fact that the smaller things you do in your everyday life definitely add up to how well your finances do. So if you're trying to figure out what kind of changes you can make in your life right now that would positively affect your finances and your savings, here are 10 things I'm still buying and paying for. 10 things you can also stop buying and paying for that will drastically improve your savings and in the long term improve your finances. Don't go anywhere. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 10 things 10 things. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Inchua if you are new here, and if you are returning, what's up my G? Welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 10 things I've stopped buying and paying for in order to save more money and generally improve my personal finance. And I hope that these 10 things inspire you to also cut down on some things that you may be spending money on in order to save more money if that is your goal. Mind you, some of these things may be a little bit controversial, so you can feel free to agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, be sure to leave a comment and let me know whether you agree with me or not in the comment section. The first thing I'm no longer spending my money on or buying are snacks, and I find that sometimes while I wait for my food to get ready, I like to snack on things, or even after meals I like to have a cake or chocolate after meals. And aside the fact that it is not healthy, aside the fact that all these sugars and fats and carbs are not healthy for my body, it also is not healthy for my pocket. And I did the math and I realized that even if I'm spending about $5 a day on snacks every single day of the week, it quickly adds up. If I'm spending $5 on snack a day, by the end of the year I'd have spent about $1,800 only on snacks alone, and that is not an expense I'm willing to keep up with. You can decide to have 3 meals a day and you'll be fine. You don't need snacks. You're not a child. You'll not die of hunger if you do not snack on something before your next meal. The next thing I'm no longer spending money on is Uber. You know how after every trip, Uber sends you a receipt of what went into your trip and all of that? The other day, I sat behind my computer and I just went through my both trips, and that money, I could have used that money for something else. After that, I'm like, nope, I am not doing it anymore. If it is necessary that I get from one point to another using an Uber or a Bolt, that's fine. I know for a fact that there are some places that I can get a bus to go to for 5 times less how much I would pay if I'm taking an Uber or a Bolt. If you want to also see how crazy these small Uber fares and Bolt fares quickly rack up, go to your Uber app or go to your Bolt app, look at your trips and just calculate how much you spent on all these trips within a month, or even for the first 6 months of the year, and let me know if it is money that you could have used somewhere else. Just do that and let me know in the comment section. The next thing is synthetic wigs, and I know that not everybody can afford to buy human hair or whatever, but I have tried synthetic wigs and I've also tried getting like really good hair, and there's a difference. There's a huge difference. The first time I tried a synthetic wig, it took about a month before it was too hard to even look good in. If you ever use synthetic wigs or high fiber wigs or whatever they're calling them these days, you know that initially it's soft, it looks like human hair, it just is really flattering, right? But after you wear it a few times, maybe for a month, right, it begins to get really hard. You can't, it's tangled, it doesn't look good, it looks dry, it just looks synthetic and cheap. And I realized that buying a synthetic wig every other month, because these things don't last, if you're comparing how much you're going to be spending getting a new synthetic wig every other month as opposed to getting like a really good wig one time and you're done, it just makes economic sense to go for a good wig. So that's definitely something I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to slowly build my wig collection. There's no rushing it. If you cannot afford to buy a curly wig, a straight wig, a short wig, a bob wig at the same time, there's no rushing it, right? Buy one, wear for some time, switch to braids if you want, build up some more money and then buy your next wig. But I definitely am going to be investing in getting good hair once and for all, good hair that I can have for 2-3 years, as opposed to buying a synthetic wig that I'm going to throw away after a month and then I'll have to find another money to buy another one. This next one may be a little bit controversial, but I'm no longer going to be buying bottled water. I remember when I was younger, my dad brought a filter home one time from work, like a box with a brand new water filter, and everybody at home was annoyed because why do we have to now fill bottles for the fridge when we could just, you know, take a bottle of water and drink and be on our way. And I remember him trying to explain to us that, you know, it makes economic sense and it's also good for the environment. We didn't listen, and we didn't really care too much about the environment back then. But now that I'm thinking about it, let's even put the money that goes into buying a bottle of water aside. Let's just act like every single person can afford to buy 4 or 5 bottles of water in a day, right? Let's just act like that is okay. Every single time you take bottled water, the plastic goes into the bin. That is more carbon footprint added to the universe. If the recycling process isn't effective wherever you live, that is more garbage in the sea. Now consider having a filter at home and having like a glass bottle, or even like a one-time plastic bottle purchase like this that you're constantly refilling anytime you have to go out, and you have this on you throughout the day. Or you have like sachet water, which is more affordable to refill as you go through your day, and that is also going to be nice to your pocket. This next one is a bonus point. This is not something that I do personally, but it's for all the guys and the girls in my life. Shout out to the guys in my office that decide that they want to bet. You know how when there's a match, people bet some amount of money and then hoping that their bet will go well and then they would reap some earnings from it. And by simply observing the people around me, I could tell for a fact that not a lot of you get good returns from whatever bet you're putting out there. So that means that you're simply just throwing money away and hoping that for some weird reason the money is going to come back to you in multiples. Technically, you are just throwing money away. I mean, it will be fun to know that I could put $5 into a bet and get $500 back. Imagine putting $5 into a bet every single time there's a match. That quickly compounds and that becomes money that you're just throwing away. So if you're into betting, you definitely want to, you know, check that and cut down on the amount of money you're putting into betting if you can cut down on betting completely. The next thing I will try very hard not to spend my money on is eating out or buying takeout. And usually every single time I'm in the office, I get tired of all the foods that we have around us and I'm tempted to eat out or order takeout. And just sitting down and doing the math and putting all those monies together, I realized that it is way above the budget that I have allotted for food for a month. That means that I am losing a lot of money because I have sweet mouths. So that's something that you can also consider working on. If you're trying out food to review and that is making you money, please continue. Continue. The next thing is stick-on nails. For I think a year or so, I'm no longer getting stick-on nails because first of all, those things do not last more than a week on my fingers. You know how you see a nice lady with missing nails? That thing is like my biggest pet peeve and I don't like to see it, so I don't want that for me and I don't want that for you. And I realized that if I have acrylic or I have like gel nails, that doesn't usually happen. These ones could last as long as you want them to last. The only thing that is embarrassing is the fact that they grow out. They have these tiny whitish gaps that is not nice to look at. That aside, these nails can last a month, but stick-on nails will pop off. You use glue, attach them, they'll pop off again, and I just think that it is not the best use of my money. And having to apply glue every single time your nail falls off is definitely not healthy. If you're interested in looking a lot more put together and classy and you want my tips, I have a video. I'm going to link it up here. I'm also going to leave a link in the description box so you can check it out after the video. This next item is something that I maybe have to go to therapy for. I have a lot of notebooks, of journals, diaries, whatever you call them, and I keep buying more. I almost cannot stop myself from buying a cute journal or a cute diary when I see it. And so if you can relate, you definitely want to stop doing that and cut down on how much you're spending on these things. Skin care. One time, this lady sent me a DM on Instagram saying that she's struggling with her finances. She's even living with her parents and she can't even figure out her finances. So what will happen if she moves out and goes to live alone? All of that stuff. And she personally opened up and said that most of her money is going into skincare. I can relate. We all see all these influencers buying toner after toner, buying this and that, and then we think that we need every single one of these products that these influencers are buying. face. And the truth is, if it's a toner, you probably just need one. If it's a moisturizer, you probably need just one. You don't need all the different variations of that item in order for it to be effective for you. I won't say I'm a skincare hoarder, even though I've bought, a few things here and there. And studies even show that sticking to one product and using it all the way through is more likely to give you a better effect or outcome, as opposed to switching products and giving your skin too much to deal with in a short time. This next one is not necessarily a thing that I'm no longer spending my money on, but it is living my life to impress others or to fit into other people's expectations. A very funny example is at work, people in my office tease me and say that I shouldn't be eating beans, right? And even though that's a joke, I mean, it's not that deep. But imagine someone looks at you and think that you're too bougie to eat a certain kind of food. So in order to fit that expectation that the person has built in their minds by their own, so because of that, you are not going to be eating whatever you want to eat because this person thinks that you shouldn't be eating that. And we see it happen. People think that you're too bougie, you're too classy to be taking the bus. Is it your money? If you're going to be keeping up with the expectation that everybody has for you, your pocket is going to feel the drain. You don't live your life to try to impress people, and your finances and your savings are going to thank you for it. This next one may be a little bit controversial, but I am no longer going to spend my money on handbags. This is because every single time I wake up and I look at the collection of handbags that I have built, which is not even a huge collection in the first place, I realize that there are some bags that I have not touched for years, not even months, years. There's some bags that I've worn just once and have totally never ever worn again. Probably wore when I got it because I was excited to get it. There are clothes that you don't have places to wear them to, or even if you do, those occasions come up once in a while. You have all these shoes and bags and accessories sitting down and they're not being worn or used. We are not doing that anymore. At least I am not doing that anymore. I'm not going to be buying any more bags that I don't see myself using like every other week. If I'm not going to be using this bag every other week or at least every other month, you're not buying it. But if you want to drastically improve your savings or your investment, you definitely want to watch this video where I share 10 side hustle ideas that you can start right now today and make really good money from them. So check this video out and I will see you over in that video.